Welcome, everybody. I am Octopus Money Multipliers. I am not responsible for any of your losses, only your profits. Y'all ready to multiply? Let's jump right in. Mr. Curtis the Quant Curtis on Twitter X, said, for a few years, I keep looking at the top 10 stocks of expected FCF yield. Don't worry, I'll explain that in a second. In the S&P 500 and think, nah, it can't be that simple, can it? What does that mean? That just means profitability without doing much work. It's kind of like in mining where it's like all in sustaining costs. Like to pull silver out of the ground, some guys could do it like $20 an ounce. Some it takes them $30 an ounce. Do you want to invest in the guys that only takes $20 or $30? They're more efficient. They're just printing money. So what we're showing here in the red is if you were just to follow the top 10 that print money without spending a lot, you can see you've got substantial growth versus the blue S&P 500. I mean, we're talking, what is this, 2,000, 3,000%, 3,500% more from 2020 lows. Now, I haven't back checked any of this, but the charts kind of tell me it's what we're looking at. First ticker we're going to get into and look at is MTCH. What is that? That is Match Group. This is like your dating apps, but they own not only Match, but they own all these. I don't even know what any of these are, thank God, but they own them all. I like this chart. It's sitting right at POC, the point of control here, right about $32. Had a high of 182 a couple years ago, and it looks like it's just in a Wyckoff accumulation zone. It already had its pop down. Now it's just getting ready. Once this thing breaks that like 40 area that we had in 2025, I could really see this thing running. Next ticker we're going to talk about is CF Industries. We've actually talked about these quite a bit when we were talking about America Plays. And it's funny that this one was in there, but CF Industries is a leading global manufacturer of hydrogen and nitrogen products for clean energy, fertilizers, remember that? And emissions abatement and other industrial applications. So it's America Pure Play farming. You know, you can get into this with like moo and I think cows or something, you know, those ETFs. I'm pretty sure this is in there, but you know, this is just a pure play. These are stocks that, you know, you just want a grandpa. You know, you might always try to find a new low. You know, if you get some crazy liquidation, you know, SP 500 finally goes down 20% like everyone's been calling for 10 years. You know, just keep loading in it though. This is that one where it's just once a month, just drip in X amount percent of whatever expendable income you do or might have. This is also good for people that are looking to build portfolios for others, I'd say, like grandpa accounts I talk about. You set them and forget them. You can also play leaps on these, you know, but just be wary with the risk of that. Next one is CNC, Centene Corporation. Never heard of that. It's a for-profit healthcare, okay, based in St. Louis, Missouri, which is an intermediary government-sponsored and privately insured healthcare programs. I mean, this is one of those ones where the government, you know, they're probably using Medicare and all that stuff. That's a little bit beyond my knowledge when it gets to that, but all I know is the chart tells me we're sitting basically right at 50% back trace for the past like 20 years. Now this price action does not look cool. You know, I mean, it looks pretty boring. You can go from 26 to 100, sure, and that's, you know, 2 or 3x in your money, but it's not. A lot of these aren't going to be hype stocks. This is health, you know. But it's good to have a portfolio that's got a mixture of it all, because if more initiatives and stuff come out, I mean, look at this run. You know, in 2025 went from 26 to 45. You almost 2x your money. You know, and at that point you're what, 4x what the S&P 500 has done? Imagine if you just bought healthcare stocks and outperformed all the bros buying all the cool tech names. Crazy. SYF. This is the company that everyone has probably used before, even though they didn't know it. Synchrony, I think is how you pronounce it. Basically all the big retail bros of, let's say, the brick and mortars like Target, Kohl's, Walmart, even big dealerships, I think, like Honda and all them. When you get their credit, it's actually through Synchrony. You know, so credit cards, and I believe they also do like some automotive stuff too. Now this is currently sitting at all-time highs, so you might say, well, I'll just wait for a big pullback. You can, it's up to you. Figure out how you want to do this, but it's one of those ones that how is this not going to keep running? Especially with you got Q4 results coming out, which is the big spending of the year, right? They got earnings coming up, I believe, the beginning of February. So you can even play this as an earnings play, like just get like a 1 month, calls on these, and just sell them like a day or two, most of them a day or two before earnings, because this looks like it's just going to keep running up. PayPal, you ever heard of them? PYPL. This thing looks beat, just absolutely beat. The cool 2021 realm, we hit $300. Right now we're sitting at 59. I personally don't like PayPal myself, but if they're making a lot of money without doing much work and spending money, and it's a digital company, I mean, it's pretty easy. I know they're getting into cross-border payments and, of course, crypto. So if and when crypto does have its next leg up, I could see some press releases coming out where they're going to be pumping that. Next one I'm going to talk about is HPQ. Hewlett Packard. I'm sure everyone has heard of them or has owned an object from them, from computers to printers. It's HP, man. They've been beat too. I mean, they only hit it higher like around 40, and they're about half off at 22. Again, this is not something I could see ever going absolutely crazy, but they're just still printing money. Heck, they got printers. Why can't they? The chart tells me it looks like a decent entry here, though. Next one we talk about is APA Corporation. They have dividends. Most of these have dividends, so you're also making money just getting checks in the mail. This is an oil and gas play macro. So they've got United States footprints. They've got ocean outside of Argentina, United Kingdom, and all the way over in Egypt. This is sitting right at the POC. I pulled this from 1988 till now. We're literally sitting right at the median here. So as long as it stays above that 2388, we're at 2391. We still should at least try to get back up to around 50. And sky's the limit if we ever get in a real pinch. You might want to look at like what happened in Iraq in 2001 with oil and kind of follow what's going to be happening now because of the whole South America stuff. Next, we're going to take a look at SWKS. This one is kind of a cool factor one because you've got the 5G, that's sometimes narrative. It's also got Internet of Things, kind of communications, VoIP, stuff like that. But then look at all these hype centers. You got aerospace, defense, mobile, data center, automotive, infrastructure, health. So these guys are a middleman for all that. They make it work and they are profitable, and I really like this chart. This might be my favorite one out of the bunch just from the limited research I've done so far. But you can tell this is sitting at the bottom of the buy zones here. It bounced right off it at like 50, let's just call it like 60. As long as we're above that, I don't see how this is not going to keep going up. They print money. Next one, BMY, Bristol Myers Squibb. Y'all heard of them? I have. I just didn't really know what it was, but it's just a global biopharmaceutical company. They're developing and delivering innovative medicines, patients, and it's a macro big boy medicine company. And they've got like I looked at their website. They had like 30 patented names on stuff. It's just one of those. It's not. I didn't see anything that could compete with like the Lilly, like the weight loss stuff, the GLP-1 and 2 and all that. But I don't know. Does anyone know anything about that? If they are into that, or should we do some more research and find out? Because if we can get some Lilly back hype off this could be a runner. It's again kind of sitting right at the buy control from the past 8 years right now at 54, high at 81. Last but not least, we're looking at DVN. What is DVN? This is a pure America play, gas and oil, baby. There's nothing more profitable once you get your stuff set up and the regulations done. It's it's the black oil, man, and the clear oil. Clear gold, that's what I meant to say. They print money based in America. Here's the locations. You've got them all down in the center of the United States, which is where most of that is pulled from. What do you think on the geopolitical side about oil and gas? We're going to see oil prices going up or down. Did you look at our rack last time? Is this 2.0? What really matters? Just right here. Remember, we are in Burr Zone from PAL, and I don't think that we are going to get another person in there that's not going to print any harder. In fact, I think the next guy we got coming in is going to be wanting to print harder for Trump because he's the one who is bringing them in. So, Burr, pardon that. QE, that's what's coming. Okay, so no matter what, the Fed is now in the zone where they're going to be propping up markets. You know, the macro zone, we're spies at all-time highs and people are still scared. What's new? Why do people get scared all time high? Just follow the trend, y'all. Look at the weekly stuff. If we're still kind of going up, we're still kind of going up. That's all that matters. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a comment. Let us know what you think. We also have a Patreon. You can join that. We just had 2 new members join in the past week. We appreciate y'all, and we will see you on the other side.